Can you tell me a little bit more about your journey as a nurse to an entrepreneur?
Yes. So I call myself an entrepreneur by mistake, okay? Because I never planned on doing it. But when I graduated from nursing school in 2011, I started making, nursing income. Being first generation American, I came out with income that was greater than both my parents combined. And so it was like, whoa, like what a big windfall. But I didn't realize how little I knew about money. So I lived my life the way I kind of expected people to do, like what kind of was the norm, which is, spending money on your credit cards, buying cars, like just not making very much intentional decisions, but just like going through life. And then in 2013, I got married to my husband who didn't have any debt. And I was like, whoa, what an interesting concept. Like you can do stuff with your paychecks while mine goes to Visa and Discover. So together we started to be a little bit more intentional about money and kind of have a shared vision as to what we want our life to look like. But then even then, then in 2018, which is 5 years later at this point, I still didn't feel like my net worth looked like what they expect like a Northeast nurse to be making, and to have in the bank. And I started listening to personal finance podcasts, and those inspired me to be more intentional about investing, and that has helped me grow my wealth over 340K at this point. So it's great because like what I came to notice learning about money is how little everybody else knew about money. And so that's what kind of inspired me to become a money coach because I'm like, a lot of people need this information in order to grow their wealth, and people
Mhm.
feel like they're stuck and like they're kind of like there's nowhere to go from here. Like they feel paycheck to paycheck. They feel so constrained. I'm like, I think if you understood your money better, you would see what options are out there versus just the limitations.
Honestly, spoken like a really empathetic nurse right there. Seeing a need and trying to support people in that. And also, as an entrepreneur, you said that you're an accidental entrepreneur, but you saw a market and you wanted to improve it. And coming from someone that had debt and then got out of debt and then also built their assets is really beneficial to people that are in debt themselves, because you can actually see that, you can support that, and you've been there. Um,
Yeah, I come from that angle as well because even not just for myself, but for the people who I've come in contact with, to let them know that there is something better out there. It does very much remind me of like even in healthcare where we're just trying to get that person to like see the light. Like there's something past the moment that you're in right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like finances are really tough for people to see that too. I think people become very used to a certain level of living and also very
Yes.
used to a certain income, whether it be them not realizing that they can like make more or just thinking that like this is just it, this is where I am. Um, Nurses are famous for picking up overtime and then getting burnt out from a lack of work-life balance. Some of this can be solved through a more efficient management of their current finances. Do you have any general tips for nurses that may be overwhelmed by like investing or some of those bigger terms, but they don't really know where to start? I know that some of these concepts are really individualized, but do you have any general tips?
Yes. One is that everyone should have a high yield savings account. There's no excuses for it. The second thing, kind of in tandem with that, let me just say that. You shouldn't have a significant amount of money in your checking account. There should be just enough to basically pay a month's worth of bills, then the rest should go to savings earning interest, and that is in a high yield savings account.
Mm.
People who have their savings account with Bank of America or Chase or any of these things, I don't do it.
Ooh.
Switch. Every single person. There's no reason not to. Those are like the easiest things you could do today.
Super interesting. Super interesting. And is it because they have lower interest rates than some of the other banks that you can find?
Yeah, so the chasing them will never give you even 1% of interest on your money. And that the thing is, I think people this is get granular, like they're making money off your money that's in the bank. Your money's not actually sitting in the bank, okay?
Hmm.
It's being invested in stuff and you're not taking advantage of banks that will give you more interest. So a lot of the high yield savings accounts now are in the high 3%, low 4% range now with when interest rates going down. You can't pay for that at Chase, okay?
Yeah.
So better yet, and I'm a Chase class. I love Chase in itself for its purpose, but when it comes to your savings, you need to put it somewhere where it's going to make more.
Interesting. I mean, I can tell that you have a high level of knowledge for this right there.